Hi there, it's Mr. Smith, and in this video I'm going to go over the college algebra syllabus. So first of all, you can see here when you're contacting your instructors, you should hear back from us within 24 hours. I'm normally much quicker than that, but if for some reason you haven't gotten a response within 20 hours, please send me another email, but normally I'm pretty good. Of course, holidays and weekends tend to be a little bit slower or a little more hit and miss. Instructor information, this is me, Scott Smith. My name is spelled with one T, so my nickname is actually one T. So call me Mr. Smith, call me one T. Some people call me Mr. Scott, whatever. I'm pretty easy about that. This is my email address. Notice again, Scott is with one T. This is a phone number where you can have a conversation with me if you want to discuss something. Otherwise, you can always send me an email. This is an internet course. I do have an office at the Brookhaven campus, though. If you ever want to stop by, just send me an email and we can work that out. As far as office hours are concerned, actually need to change this. Well, actually it is by appointment, and basically we'll meet in teams. And so I used to do it once or twice a week at certain times, and it seemed like it never worked out for the majority of students, so this seems to work better. But please don't hesitate to ask. Office hours are for students, so you're not bothering me. The whole purpose of the office hours is to help students. This is where you can reach people at our division office if you need to get a hold of them. And they have a whole bunch of support contacts. This is a new part of the syllabus, so certainly you should be able to get in touch with your success coach. Here's where you can get free tutoring, and there's a list here. You should look through those. I'm going to go ahead and move on to course information. And so again, this is college algebra, also called Math1314. This is an 8-week course, so be prepared. We're going to move quickly, twice the normal speed, and it's just really important that you get off to a great start and be prepared to work hard. It's a lot in a very short amount of time. This is our section number. That's what distinguishes us from other 1314 courses. Of course, this is the fall of 2024. Notice the certification date is Tuesday, September 3rd. We'll talk more about that in a few minutes. And the last day to withdraw, if for some reason you do need to withdraw, would be October 3rd. And I would just encourage you to make sure you do it the right way. Sometimes students get discouraged and they'll just stop attending. They give up, come back a couple semesters later, and they find out they're on academic probation. You know, we just don't really know what the future holds, and especially when you're young, you find later on things can change. So talk to, like if you're getting financial aid or you're a veteran, make sure you talk to the appropriate people, and that I would hope that you would talk to me as well. You know, we're here to help you be successful, and if for some reason you need to drop, that's fine, but you just want to make sure you get it done the right way. Alright, so there's a course description there, and you can look at that and the student learning outcomes on your own. If you have any questions, you can certainly ask me about that. We also have what are called the Texas Core Objectives, which are on all the syllabi. So things like critical thinking and communication skills, these are important not just in our course and courses in overall, but these are things we want you to take with you and be improved at when you go out into the real world. So these are all really important things. So look those over if you haven't before. Required course materials. So these days our materials are books. In our case, it's an online program which includes the book, but that comes with the price of tuition. So you don't have to buy them separately. So you're automatically enrolled in what we call the Include-Ed program, where you get your materials as part of tuition. So notice they say opting out is strongly discouraged. In the past, you might save some money by buying things on your own, but it's been my experience that, first of all, we're one of the most affordable colleges in not just Dallas, but the country. So just rest assured, we're not ripping you off. You're getting a good deal, and you're not going to want to opt out. So anyway, this is our textbook, and again, it's included with MyLab Math. And the only other thing I want to mention, you do need a TI graphing calculator, and that is not included as part of the Include-Ed program. So you're going to need one of these. It's the TI-84 that I'll be using in class and that we recommend. A TI-83 can be used, but it's not quite able to do some of the things we do. You know, a lot of times you can ask friends, family members, and you might be able to find one that someone's not currently using. They're commonly used in the high schools. You can also go online and usually find a pretty good deal on one. Anyway, notice these are calculators that cannot be used. If you have any questions about your calculator, you can always contact me. Let's continue on. So because this is an online course, I assume you realize that it's very important that you have a computer with reliable internet access. We're going to be using a program called MyLab Math. It used to be called My Math Lab, so that's what I tend to call it. So it's an online textbook-based software where you're going to be doing your assignments. And so you're going to need access to a computer with a good internet access. And so if you have an issue with that, I know that you can, I believe the college, if you go to the library, you can get a hotspot and rent one of those. But you want to make sure that you have a place where you have internet access and you'll have plenty of time to do your assignments. And this just tells you how to get started. Basically, in my math lab, in eCampus, you're going to have a MyLab Math link, and when you click on that, there are several links, and the first time you go in, usually you're going to go into assignments, and when you go in there the first time, you'll have some online or some on-screen instructions to follow, and then after that you'll be able to go right in directly, and after that first time. As far as graded work is concerned, you can see homework is 10%, quizzes are 10%, tests are 60%, and there is a final that's 20% of your grade. The letter grades are traditional, so 90 to 100 is an A, and so on. And let's see, notice you'll have the opportunity to replace the score earned on a test. Excluding test 4 with the score earned on the final exam if you have an average score of at least 80% on all homework assignments. So 80%, if you have that average or better on your homework, I'll replace your lowest test score with what you get on the final. So if you have a bad test, that's how you can get around that or recover from that. All right, so let's talk about the graded work. So first of all, homework's going to be assigned in my math lab to practice for each section of the book. And one of the nice things is you're always going to know if you got the right answer, and normally you can get some feedback showing you how to do the problem. There might even be videos. It just kind of depends on the problem. On the other hand, I do want to recommend that you work in a notebook. Part of learning for a lot of people, just writing things out is one way that helps you to learn. Of course, saying things out loud, and there's other things you can do as well, but I think it's really important that you write the basic problem down and whatever information you need to write down, and do the problems, showing your work, number the problems. And so again, that helps you learn the material, but also when you get to your quiz, which will go over maybe 3 homework assignments or something like that, you can always go back before you start and look at your homework. Maybe you made a note of some things that you had questions about or you weren't sure about that maybe you need to get some help with. But look over your homework and then take your quiz. And so by the time you get to the test, that's what you want to be able to do. You'll do the practice test. If you do well on that and you don't need to look at a lot of help, then that's a pretty good indication that you're ready for the test. So notebooks really helpful in helping you to learn the material for the course. All right, let's see. I think we're ready to move on to the next slide or page. So quizzes, again, these are basically going to indicate whether you're learning the material or not. I always encourage students to try to do the quizzes without their notes. Look over your notes first, but don't use your notes while you take the quiz. It's kind of like preparing you for the test. And if you're doing well, then you know the material. But if you're struggling, then you still have some studying to do, some learning to do. Maybe you have some questions to ask. Notice these are timed, and all the quizzes are 10% of your grade. You will have 4 tests. They're each worth 100 points. They normally go over a chapter or 2. Notice tests will be administered online in my math lab, or my lab math, using the Lockdown browser and Respondus monitor. A laptop or desktop computer with a webcam is required. Alternatively, students may arrange to take each exam at one of the Dallas College academic testing centers. So for the first test, I'll provide a detailed announcement of how you're going to do that. It's going to be really important that you're able to use these programs, and if you have any problems, you'll want to contact me right away. If we need to, we can have you come into one of our testing centers at Dallas College. The academic testing centers are the ones that you would use. But make sure you talk to me if that's what you want to do. Final exam, notice it's 25 questions. It'll be 20% of your grade. And that will be taken the 8th week of class. I usually open it up on Monday, and you have till Thursday to get it done, which will be October 17th. Late work. So number 1, if you're going to be successful in this class, I highly encourage you to get all your homework, quizzes, and tests done on time. I do have a little bit of flexibility to work with you, but it's just so important that you're getting those, to be successful, if you're getting those things done on time, and especially if you're getting your homework and quizzes done quickly enough that you have enough time to thoroughly review for your test, that's ideal, and that's what you want. So if you want to be successful, that's what I recommend. However, if you do assignments late, quizzes or homework, not tests, it's a 25% deduction. Notice the last day you can do a late assignment is October 13th. So again, where did I put that? Highly recommend homework, quizzes, and the test reviews for each test be completed before you take each test. Normally when students aren't doing that, they tend to not be very successful on the test. So again, that's my high recommendation. Let's see. Instructor-student communication. So I talked about this just a bit when in my very first introduction to the course. Super important that we can communicate together. If I need to get a hold of you or you need to get a hold of me, we need to be using our school email. So like when I make an announcement, it's going to go also to your email. So it's so important that you're using your school email when you communicate with me and also other instructors, but also that you're monitoring those emails, that you're checking them. I have mine come directly to my phone, and that's what I highly recommend. And you can click here if you need more information on email. Let's see, if you need to call me, we talked about that before. In your emails, if you could put our section in your email, the name of our course, Math1314, section 21200, that makes it much easier for me to know who you are. All right, let's wrap things up here. We're getting pretty close. So attendance participation. To be certified as attending or participating in this course, obviously you're not going to be attending, students must complete the Chapter 1 assignments up to Quiz 1 with an average score of 70%. Actually 80% or better. Remember, that's what I recommend, especially so you can drop your lowest test score. Not drop it, but replace it with what you get on the final. So all of this needs to be done by Monday, September 2nd. On the 3rd is when I will actually certify students that have completed this. For students receiving financial aid, if you're not certified as attending the course, this is likely to affect your financial aid. Keep in mind, this is the minimum requirement. To be on schedule as indicated in the course schedule, you should complete the Chapter 1 assignments and Assignment 2.1 by Sunday, September 1st, which is the first Sunday after we start courses. So yes, we are moving quickly. So there is an emergency communication policy there. Basically, again, I'm going to use email to contact you if there's some kind of situation or I'm sick or something. Institutional policies, you should be familiar with these. If you haven't read them before, click on this link in the actual document, and has information about things like tutoring, disability services, class dropping and repeating classes, and that kind of stuff. I think that's about all I want to say. If there's any changes, I will announce those. Only thing we have left to do is to look at the schedule. So each week I will make an announcement and I'll let you guys know what's due that week, and I may have other things to add, but you can see you already know what to expect. These are the assignments that are due on Sunday, September 1st. And you can see in our second week we have our first test, and everything's outlined here. And all of these dates will match the dates that you see in MyLab Math. Alright, so I would recommend you especially print out the calendar and have that in the same place where you do your homework. Alright, I think I hit everything, and I hope I covered everything that's important to you. If you have any questions, just send me an email. Thank you.